Hello friends, I'm back again with my microeconomics class. Now today I am going to talk about the price effect, the substitution effect and the income effect. Now as you all know, I have talked in my earlier class about the law of demand, the price effect. The law of demand states that whenever the price of a commodity increases or decreases, the quantity demanded for that commodity will be moving in the opposite direction. So when the price is increasing, the quantity demanded will decrease, or when the price is decreasing, quantity demanded will increase. So there is a negative relation or indirect relation or inverse relation between the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded of the commodity. So the price effect is actually negative for all normal goods, but there are exceptions to the price effect, for the law of demand, which states that given goods have a positive price effect. That is, whenever the price is increasing, the given goods are demanded more. It is an exception to the law of demand, and in order to describe this, we have to know what is the substitution effect and what is the income effect. Now, in order to talk about these income effect and substitution effect, we want to say that the total change in demand with response to a price of a commodity, with response to a change in the price of a commodity, is decomposed into two effects: substitution effect and the income effect. Now, the income effect is actually the change in the real income due to a change in the price of a commodity. So, what is meant by income effect? Income, actually, whenever we are talking about income elasticity of demand, we are saying our income is increasing, so the demand will increase. So there is a positive relation between income and demand, and income elasticity is positive for normal goods. But for inferior goods, we know that income elasticity is negative. Now, with respect to a change in price, we are talking about the income effect here. That is, whenever the price is increasing, the real income of the consumer is actually decreasing, because now the consumer can afford less of all the commodities because the price has increased. If price of a commodity is increasing, the price level is actually increasing. So price level increases means the real income is decreasing, because real income is nominal income divided by the price level. Nominal income is whatever income we receive. Say 10,000 rupees is a salary of one person, so 10,000 rupees is his nominal income, but real income is what he can purchase, what he can afford by this income. So it is actually the deflated, whenever we are getting the nominal income, we cannot state that it is the real income, because real income is something less than this, because we actually, the affordability of rupees 10,000 will be something which is divided by the price level, and this gives the real income. So real income is nominal income divided by price level, and that is why we get income effect with respect to a price change will be actually the change in price. Whenever it is increasing, real income will decrease. Whenever the price is decreasing, real income will increase. So when we are talking about this income effect with respect to a price change in microeconomics, we are talking about the income effect with respect to a price change. Now, for normal goods, the substitution effect is negative for all the goods, normal, given, inferior. But income effect varies. Income effect is negative for normal goods. and positive for inferior goods, and also for giffen goods, because giffen goods is a special kind of inferior good. Now price effect means the change in price. There is a increase or decrease in demand due to a change in price. Now when the price is, say X is the particular commodity in question, when the price of X is increasing, or say it is when the price of X is decreasing in my example, it implies that the real income of the consumer has increased. So purchase of a normal good will increase because real income has increased, purchase of the normal good will increase. And substitution effect is always negative, because if the price of X has decreased, then it will be bought or purchased more than, or demanded more than the other substitutable goods, other goods. So it will be the according, if we, maybe it is not a particular substitute of that good. If we are purchasing, say X and Y, two commodities in the two axes, as in case of the indifference curve we show the two commodities in the two axes. So when we purchase, say apple and oranges, suppose the price of apple is decreasing, so then we will buy more of apples. So we will substitute more apple with for oranges. Now apples are substituted for oranges. Now we will purchase more of apples because price of apples has decreased. So when the substitution, according to the substitution effect, it is negative because the price of apples has decreased and demand for apple has increased. So there's an inverse relationship. Inverse relationship means the substitution effect is negative. Inverse means negative relation. One is increasing, one is decreasing. And price effect is actually the sum of income effect and substitution effect. Now when the price of apple has fallen or decreased, the real income of the consumer has also increased because the price level has decreased. Now rise in real income has made the purchase of apple increase more. So because apple is a normal good, so in case of a normal good, when the price of apple is decreasing, we are purchasing it more. So this income effect is called negative for normal goods. Now often students get confused because they think for normal goods, why is the income effect negative? Actually the income effect is not the income elasticity. It is the, actually means the income effect with respect to a change in price. So when the price is actually decreasing, real income is increasing, demand is increasing. So price is decreasing, demand is increasing due to a increase in real income. So this is called a negative effect. Price is decreasing, demand is increasing. So negative income effect. Negative income effect for normal goods. So when the price of apple has fallen, we purchase more of apple, the demand for apple increases, price of apple decreases, demand for apple increases. This has two effects. One is substitution effect. As I said earlier, we would like to purchase more of apples than oranges. And according to income effect, since our income has increased, that is why also we want to purchase more of apples. Income has increased because price of apple has fallen. So income effect is also negative. So for normal goods, so we explain the change in price by these two effects, substitution effect and income effect. We explain the change in demand due to a change in price by these two effects. So income effect is increasing, and income effect means the increase in demand is increasing. There's a change in demand which is increasing, and that is why it is negative for normal goods. Now in case of inferior goods, the price effect is negative. For normal goods also price effect is negative, inferior goods also price effect is negative. But in case of inferior goods, the income effect is positive, because whenever the price of the good has fallen, the income effect is positive because we purchase less of the commodity. Price has decreased, demand also has decreased. Real income has increased because price has decreased. Substitution effect is negative for inferior goods. Whenever the price has fallen, we purchase it more, but the income effect for inferior goods is positive. Whenever the real income increases due to a fall in the price of this particular good, say X, if it is an inferior good, then price of X has fallen means real income has increased. So we are purchasing less of the commodity X. So demand for X decreases. So there's a direct relationship. Price of X decreases, income effect says that we will demand it less. That is why the income effect with respect to a change in price for an inferior good is positive. So for inferior goods, the income effect is positive, substitution effect is negative. But income effect is less than the substitution effect. Negative substitution effect is more than the, if we take the modular thing, it is more than the income effect. So the negativity is there more than the positive effect. So negative substitution effect offsets the positive income effect, and actually the price effect is negative for the inferior goods. So price effect is substitution effect plus income effect, which is negative for inferior goods. Now in case of given goods, what happens? Given goods, price effect is positive, substitution effect is negative. In case of two goods, say X and Y, we will substitute more of X. If the price of X has decreased, we would purchase when the price of X has decreased, the substitution effect will say that the commodity has become relatively cheaper, so it will be purchased more. So the price has decreased, demand has increased. So there is a negative relation in the between the demand for the given good and the price. So there is a substitution effect is as usual negative. But for income effect, whenever we are talking about income effect for inferior goods, because given goods is a kind of inferior good, for income effect the thing is positive, because in case of inferior goods, as I explained just now, whenever the price is decreasing, say when the price is decreasing of X, then the real income is increasing. So because it is a inferior good, we would not increase the demand, we would decrease the demand. So price is falling, demand is falling due to income effect, so income effect is positive. Both are moving in the same direction. So income effect will be positive, but in case of given goods, income effect will be more than the substitution effect. We take the modular sign because substitution effect is negative and income effect is positive. So we take the modular thing, that is when the value of the income effect we see is greater than the value of the substitution effect. So the price, as a result, the price effect for given goods is positive. As a result, the price effect is positive for given goods. Whenever the price of the commodity decreases, the demand for the commodity will also decrease. Suppose the consumers, as was seen in Ireland, are consuming meat and potato. Now the price of potato has fallen, so they would like to increase the consumption of meat. They would like to purchase more of meat, because when the price of potatoes has fallen, they would have more real income, so they would like to spend the more of the real income for the better nutritious thing, that is meat. In their case was the example. So they purchased more of meat than the potatoes, but the price of potatoes has actually decreased. So the price of potatoes has decreased and the demand for potatoes is also decreasing, because they are consuming meat. They cannot consume potato more. In order to compensate for that decrease in potato consumption, they increase the consumption of meat. So their consumption of meat is increasing and the consumption of potatoes is decreasing. That is why the in this case actually potatoes are not inferior goods, but this is a particular kind of inferior good. It is named Giffen goods because they are consuming the two things which are actually one is inferior in relation to the other thing, so it is called the Giffen good. Now for Giffen goods, price effect will be positive. So income effect for inferior goods is positive. When price falls, real income increases, but good X, if it is inferior, is purchased less, that is demand is decreasing. So price falls, demand falls, income effect is positive, as I said earlier. And for inferior goods, income effect is less than substitution effect. So substitution effect actually is more, so this is price effect is negative. And for Giffen goods, it is actually the reverse of the inferior goods case. The substitution effect is less than the income effect, so price effect is positive. So Giffen goods is a special kind of inferior goods, special case of inferior goods, because both have positive income effect, but Giffen goods has positive price effect too. Now this is all for today's class. This would explain the substitution effect and income effect for a price change.